And that should be it. I will just teleport back to my base. It will only take a second. Oh what? That's not my base. It's not even the present. It's actually the past, 1760 to be exact, at the start of the Industrial Revolution. Thomas Newcomen has just invented the first piston steam engine, which allowed for great expansions in mines. Our job is to revolutionize this planet. We are provided with burner miners and furnaces. We quickly set up some miners, tin, coal, copper, and stone. There is also a steam fissure nearby. I set up another miner at the copper as most recipes are copper hungry. With a steam direct, we can extract the steam from the deep ground. We can upgrade our miners to steam ones, which take steam as fuel instead of coal. Steam also needs its own set of pipes. The gameplay difference being, instead of power poles or belts, it's pipes. The furnace stack is going inwards instead of outwards, so I will rotate it. I handcraft thread science and begin researching. I connect the pipes and unlock automation. Automation unlocks 2 new buildings. Small assemblers which only craft basic materials like plates and rods, and normal assemblers. Copper analysis pads are made of copper plates and tin gears. Using small assemblers to make those saves a lot of space. 4 furnaces of tin is honestly enough. Putting all the intermediate products like plates, rolls, gears and rivets into separate belts makes it easier to craft buildings. Pipes, belts, more copper, new belt for pistons and motors. Our steam direct isn't keeping up and so we will make some of our own. We get water which will boil to create steam in a boiler. This should be enough. Stone bricks, long and short inserters, small assemblers. I get a belt of copper and tin as the beginning of a boss and start automating science properly. The laboratories are so slow. For 2 assemblers you need 8 laboratories. Cars here don't work on random wood or coal. They need proper steam cells which we can get here. Bronze is an alloy made out of copper and tin. There isn't much to say here, but I have already edited this, so just watch it. Crushing stone gives us gravel. Crushing it again gives us silica. Smelting silica and tin together gives us glass. Same with this one. Killing the roaches to extract the juicy iron ore. These bronze furnaces are twice as fast. The new building, the forestry, harvest trees without actually killing them. Mostly. Green science needs glass, reinforced bronze plates, and iron beams. Rate calculator shows the maximum production and consumption rates of machines, so the ratio goes 3 by 3 by 2. This is the setup. The iron comes down, goes into the iron beam, then into plates, rods and rivets. Rivets and plates go into the belt and go to the beam. Boom, we have got iron beam. Next is bronze. It comes up and becomes plates and rivets, which go on another belt. Finally we got green science, which shoves its hands directly through the chest of the assembler, grabs its spines and pulls it out. With its insane aura, the assemblers on its sides pulls out the reinforced bronze plates onto the belt. It then snatches it off, along with the glass, to form the ultimate science, iron analysis pack. I steal some iron beams from the science department to automate power poles. I establish the foundation of my electric network and connect it back to my base. Now making another mold for the iron machines with the same idea as the copper one. Plates, rods, gear, rivets, and instead of pistons and motors, I've got beam and reinforced plates on the belt. I route down the wood down. I route down the wood down. The only useful recipe is pretty much making in rails, but we need thousands of it, so hand feeding isn't an option. For the next science, we need, among other things, green circuit. It's even called basic circuit, because it is basic. The only real intermediate product is a thermionic tube. Copper foil and wire are produced on the side and put on a belt. Copper foil goes to the thermionic tube and the copper wire goes to both. Glass also gets picked up by both. thermionic tube gets dropped on this build and wraps around and gets picked up by both the circuit and the computer assemblers. Computers can be turned into modules, but modules can also be turned back into computers. Weird lamp that changes color. Piston and motor on the build for the iron machines. Inserters. More steam. Electric and alloy furnace. Electric small and big assemblers. Exploring. Shiny rock. Diamond. Woohoo! This is how much I discovered, most notably the yellow dot up there, which is gold. It's hard to know where to expand. Going to the lake is pretty good due to the iron, oil, coal, and near the gold, but it's just not viable to how much defense I have to set up. I'll explore another time and decide from there. Coal is very dirty. It contains a lot of impurities and water. To solve that, we get coal. Coal is produced by heating coal in an area with little air. Oxygen, to be exact. This process removes almost all volatile matter from coal. Volatile matter refers to the components of coal, except moisture, which are released at high temperature in the absence of air. So basically coal is less stinky. Coal can reach higher temperatures as well, due to a higher carbon percentage and lower moisture percentage. Coal was used in homes for heating instead of coal after the 1956 Clean Air Act was passed, which only allowed burning smokeless fuel. Steel is just better than iron. It's an alloy made mostly out of iron and carbon. You basically put the iron and all of its impurities in a furnace. You blow oxygen at the surface, which oxidizes the impurities and allows you to remove them easily. The percentage of oxygen you blow in determines the percentage of carbon in the steel. The steel flows out and that's steel. Notice how I did not mention coal being used here, even though coal was in the steel recipe. It's because coal is actually used in the making of iron, not steel. Iron is made in the blast furnace. The materials are dropped from the top, whilst hot air is blowing through it from the bottom, reaching temperatures up to 1500 Celsius. To get iron oxide to iron, we need carbon monoxide. We get it from burning coal and a whole other set of reactions. So why exactly do we need coal, as coal or wood can also produce carbon monoxide? Firstly, it's smokeless, so it does not interfere with the blast furnace. Secondly, it can reach higher temperatures, as we have already discussed before. Thirdly, it's readily cheap and easy to get. It's basically coal. And lastly, it acts as a reduction agent. The turrets are shotgun based and shoot out pellets, which are a lot more effective at dealing with swarms. Now that we have basic circles, I will make concrete blocks like the real civil engineer that I'm not. My dumbass actually built this wrong. For this process we need to mix gravel and silica and water in a mixer, which gives us liquid concrete, not in the assemblers, which we then feed into the assemblers to make concrete blocks. I am building this with 6 science assemblers in mind. And yeah, my voice doesn't match with the clips. What you gonna do about it? It's my channel. Also, why is there a nest 10 seconds away from me? Anyways, the steel beam has the same recipe as the iron one, but instead of iron we use, well, steel. And I actually tricked you, that was not the final design. Also tricked myself by accidentally editing this. I upgraded the circuit assemblers to electric ones to match my new demand. I man up and clear out the nest before they attack me and give me a heart attack when I'm building. Before I turn it on, I will add green and red signs here. You already saw me build it once, so I will fly through it. The crafting time for blue and green signs are both the same, 8 seconds, so we need 6 of green, but for red it's 4 seconds, so we only need 3. Now we turn it on. And it just, oh, it's so beautiful! Other than wood, trees can actually drop rubber. Well, not every tree, but special ones. We just need to harvest them and crush them. Now that we're producing blue sand and at a higher rate, we need more resources. I set up a copper mine a bit south to my base and simply built over the smelted copper. This is the plan. I build a trump wall to stop the biters from illegally immigrating. Then if I kill all of these nests, I will have this huge area I can use. My rail network will look something like this. This is to get all the resources like iron and all, but also because it gives me great places to build. I do the same with tin. And whilst I'm at it, an oil rail too. This is the start of my rail network. Although it's a bit too early to use trains, so I will just run a belt to my base for the tin. Oil refineries and chemical plants. Now the rails. Oh yeah, by the way, the game provides you with like early game robots since the first like hour, but I didn't need them until now. Medium power poles. Our silica production is a bit low, so I'll put a bandage on it and squeeze in a makeshift silica production. And gravel. Now building the wall to stop those stinky biters from coming. Pump, tank, For fueling my trains, I will use a dedicated train station that trains go to fuel themselves. This, in theory, and if done properly, is pretty decent, but as I have a deficiency in intelligence, I have done it in a way so that trains do here after every cycle they do, instead of doing it with like a timer or reading how much fuel they have and sending them to it if they are low on it. This will cause some trouble later on, but for a mid-lane option, it's not that bad. Okay, so here's the deal. Trains apparently don't accept coal anymore due to the environmental reasons, and thus we need to use steam canisters. We make canisters and fill them up with steam and store them in a chest and only produce more if it falls under a certain threshold. They then go on belts and get inserted in trains. Once they use up the steam, we take these canisters out and feed them with a priority belt back to recycle them. Also, there are 2 train stations, one for 5 long and the other for 3 long trains. Now we need the oil, so we import it. So oil processing is a bit overwhelming at first, but it's actually not that bad. For it we need oil of course, and silica and water. We take include oil and get heavy oil and light oil, petroleum and bitumen. Crackling heavy oil gives us more light oil, petroleum and sour gas. Storing every product in a central tank is really useful when you try to balance them. Crackling light oil gives us more petroleum, natural gas and sour gas. Both heavy and light oil crackling need silica. Bitumen can be diluted to be turned into petroleum, heavy and light oil. Sour gas can be directly turned into sulfur and comes with water and carbon dioxide, with carbon dioxide being vented and water being routed back to the refineries. The condition to crack is simply cracking whichever there is more of. Sulfur is then turned into sulfuric acid, which is used in multiple recipes. It does need iron pellets though. Lube is like used in nothing, so 6 chemical plants is definitely overkill. So the idea of having the rails wrap around like this is to put stations all alongside it. Like this with lube and sulfuric acid. We need coke for dynamite, so that's a coke station. Dynamite needs sulfur, coke and water. I don't have much to say, so like just watch it. And no, we are not shipping the dynamite, we are shipping the military science, which is 1-to-1 recipe taking dynamite. Petroleum is used to make plastic with steam. As we know, us humans love plastic, so 24 chemicals is the minimum we need. Petroleum and natural gas especially can deadlock the process. The only way to fix this is to burn them and create electricity with those petrochemical generators. Before I turn it all on, I need to make a silica production station. Our starter stone patch is legit on life support, so this is needed. Before I turn it on, we need coke. I fooled you again, that was not the correct design. The ratio between the furnace and the crusher is 1-to-1, so we can directly feed it in. Now we can turn this beauty on. It's so rewarding watching it all work. Both iron and steel use iron ore, and we both heavily use them, so we're setting up a mine in advance. Train, signals and stations. Silica alone is not enough of course, so we also make gravel. I will import the silica and the gravel before we run out of it. A bit of spaghetti never hurts. Steam boilers seem to be having an issue. They are quite thirsty. I have enough offshore pumps to feed them, but it's just way too far. To fix this, we use pumps. A lot of pumps. Next up to our journey for proper science, we got silicon. It's silica and coke together in a furnace. Really nothing noteworthy. A little fairy whispered into my ears telling me to go south, through the jungle, across the river to find greatness. Gold. We need to prepare first before we go to war. To advance our military, I will build over the science instead of making a station as it's just too close for that. I will put this iron mine to use and get iron and steel up. Best believe our old iron patch won't last forever. Nothing does, not even love. Well, except infinity, God, energy, the universe maybe, and of course, friendship. iron and steel reinforced. With 700 magazines and 90 turrets, we might have a chance at winning. Our first encounter fails miserably and we tactically load up a save file. The second time we fatten up our defense and bait the enemies to us. Now that their army is weak, we attack with 2 rows of turrets, taking out the front line, but 2 is just not enough. We need a rectangle of turrets to win. But that wasn't it, we also need a circle of turrets. A circle? I mean 2 circles. At last, peace has been achieved. Like the historically accurate colonizers that we are, that mass murder was for gold. We bring back the gold and set them on trains, both the ore and the ingot. Nothing here to see, just me enjoying nature. For red circlets we need tin, copper, silicon, gold and plastic. For electric motor we additionally need lube and steel. First we make tin wire for semiconductors, followed by gold foil and silicone. Red circlets need tin wire too, so we split it off and merge it with the plastic. That's red circlet. For advanced computers, we need green circlets among others, so that's another belt. I also make large steel frames which are used in the buildings. Honestly, it's not even worth explaining. And now electric motors. They need steel plates, rods and gears, copper wire and lube. Station for electric motors and large steel frames. Station for red circlets too. Okay, I don't understand this. Why can the first inserter pick up the copper and the rest can't? It's literally the same setup. I legit can't think of why. New design. The small assemblers go in between the big ones, which actually works pretty well. I turn it on. To be honest, this doesn't look any good, but it's my starter base, which will be used until the end of my playthrough. Electroplater and ore washing plant. Next up is batteries. There are 2 varieties, normal and extra capacity. They both take in sulfuric acid. The normal ones take copper and iron plates, while the extra capacity ones take in steel and lead plates. The reason why this is so monumental is because we can make robots now. No more will we have to deal with those slow copper robots. They are so annoying to build though, because they need in total red and green circuits, normal batteries, steel and iron rods, electronic and advanced rotor units, which they themselves need their own kind of plate, motor and small frame. Fast inserter, flamethrower. So this is what you need for roboports. This. Wait, let me build the stations. Not you guys, I meant the ores. So this is how it works. The ore comes in and gets crushed. Then it goes through the ore washing plant and gets washed with water. It then spits it out, the pure form and its original ore, and the chance of another new ore. The pure form ore gets smelted, taking twice as long but also giving twice as much ingots. The new ore gets 10 times less produced, so we won't need as many furnaces. I built this in mind to keep space for another washing stack, but until I get to the point where I need another one, I will need to make a new design with new boulders and beakers and modules, so this was useless. We do this for copper, tin, gold and iron. Copper gives us nickel, tin gives us lead, gold gives us platinum and iron gives us chromium. Of course, iron and steel are going to be produced twice as much. If steel gets produced twice as much, that means iron gets produced quadruple as much. Why? Because steel and iron are simply superior to any other metal. That's why. I will also add in glass, brass and bronze, just so I have every material on trains. We already know how glass and bronze are made. Brass is made by combining bronze and lead. I quickly set up a tin mine to supply the ore washing. A copper one too. Now we got iron, gold, copper and tin. We can turn it on. I've got 600 furnaces running, so you already know what that means. More pollution. So the washing makes the water dirty, so we need to recycle it. Cleaning it gives us the water back, but also silica, gravel and sulfur. With the lead online, we can start producing high capacity batteries and thus roboports after 27 hours. Passive providers and storage chests. I hook up the bots and roboports and limit to 500 each, then switch all normal chests to providers ones. Wall. For the last ingredient for purple science, we need chromed beams. To chrome the beams, we need chrome plating solution. It's made in a chemical plant and takes in chromium, nickel, water, and sulfuric acid. To make the chromed beam, we need to chrome the components first, then assemble them together. I need 6 science assemblers, which need 6 beam assemblers. But I will overbuild the chrome components as they are used a lot in making machines. We take the components and dip them in the chrome solution in this new machine called electroplater. That's chromed beams. I bring the chromed beams, red circuits and motors, and that's purple science. Hooray! Moving the purple science back to my lab area. We need another setup though to take in the purple science. This should do it. I can finally research tanks which I've been thirsting over for so long. Now that I've got roboports and flamethrowers, I can finally build a wall. I don't know why, but I've never built a proper wall. It's always so messy. That's the first one. The temperature of the water affects the probability of the ore washing process giving out the extra ore. For example, instead of 10% to give nickel, with warm water it goes up to 50%. You can warm up the water in a boiler. So right here I'm set up a system that allows me to switch in between them whenever I want the cold or the warm process to be done. But my system is flawed, and so this is just a bandage, not a fix. We'll see the flaw later on. I'm going to stand up to the constant harassment from the north and build a wall. Not just the north, the west too. Repair kits. Finally, I can blow them up in a safe vehicle instead of marching forward with turrets like a frontline army soldier. But not the south. I will leave my defense open for them. They have a special place in my heart. The dark copper and tin we produce from the washing has to go somewhere, so I will merge it here. I am tired of these slow belts, so I will skip red belts and go right to blue belts. Advanced big assemblers, small one too. Ruby. Our chromium has deadlock, which means both iron and steel production has stopped. To fix this, I will switch it back to the cold water. Stack inserter, cryogenic plant. In those cubic presses we can make gems. Ruby requires chromium mineral, silica and crushed ruby, which we get from crushing, well, ruby. I scrap the loop design and just do it with the boring way. Next up are electrum crystals, aka yellow gems. They just need gold and platinum mineral. The advanced assemblers have 4 module slots, so we will upgrade all the science assemblers to it and fill it up with modules. Here's what you do if you're low on power. Step 1. Mine coal. Step 2. Build boilers. A lot of boilers. Step 3. Build tanks to store all the steam. Step 4. Build steam engines. A lot of steam engines. Enjoy big power. Alongside belts, trains and boats, you can use airships to transport items. It's a system built upon colors. I'll explain it properly later. I'm gonna build another fueling station that will replace the old one. This one has more reserve parking and uses batteries instead of steam. We can charge the batteries in this new building. Concrete. You know, as far as it is to drive 10 minutes to Australia and get some rubber from trees, it's just not plausible anymore. We first get water, natural gas and nickel pellets and combine them into ethanol. We then take the ethanol and combine it with steam and nickel pellets again, making rubber. Everything is already here, we just need a station for the nickel. I will use the airships to transport the red gems. This is how it works. The airship goes to the refueling station where it, refuels itself. If its color is white, which it is, the station sends it to the station loading red gem, and it lets its color set to red. After reaching its destination, the station checks its color. If it's red, which it is, it loads it up with the stuff we have provided. It then checks if the airship is not empty, which it is not since we have loaded it up. Its color is now orange. Now that it's orange, the station sends it to the unloading red gem. When it arrives, the station checks again if it's orange, which it is, and once the airship is empty, it becomes white and gets sent to the refueling station, where the cycle begins again. The condition of being empty or not is actually a bad thing in this case. It's just better to set it to always. We finally got ruby here, so we can make ruby rods, so that we can make pulse lasers, so that we can make laser assemblers. Getting the glass to my base. So about the south having a special place in my heart, not anymore. My heart is gone, destroyed. Well, not just the south. Every direction. I clear out the nests that have been peacefully living here, and now we are 100% secure. Now for the final gem, diamonds. You first mix gold and heavy oil together to get graphite coke. You then heat it up in a furnace and get graphite. We take the graphite, press it together with diamond powder, and we get new diamonds. Infinite diamond glitch. Since diamonds are hard, we need advanced crushers for them. They themselves need diamonds to be crafted, so we gotta get a bunch. I'm constantly running into trees and rocks, so this should help. It's not an industrial revolution if you don't get rid of all nature and paint all the ground with concrete, automating lamps after 37 hours, and big power poles. Because I'm sick of those yellow symbols flickering. Can you guess what the next project is? That's right, it's time for yellow science. For yellow science, we need the following: yellow gem, chrome plating, steel, plastic, silicone, glass, gold, air filters, sulfuric acid, copper, tin, and water. I start with this many small assemblers. We should both make half a blue belt worth of their each stuff each. Dip them in chrome and combine them into a belt. The laser assemblers need special gases or fluids to function. We need air filters before we can make that. Air filters are really simple to make. It's just gold and graphite. I'm not complaining though. We can just siphon the graphite from the diamond maker. Whilst you weren't looking, I built a stone mine. Our silica production isn't keeping up anymore. A tiny improvement is all we need. Our old silica production produced around 900 a minute. This one produces 5400 a minute. Just a small upgrade. With such huge quantities, a double loading design seems fair. You can actually clean the air with air filters. I wonder why our government isn't doing that. Okay, back to air. We push compressed air into cryogenic plant. It separates the air into liquid helium, oxygen, and nitrogen in all their respective ratio. We put them all in their own tanks. We compress the air into compressors. Duh. A lot of them. I will import the yellow gems the same way I did with the red gems, with airships. So how these laser assemblers work is that they take in liquid, use it for cooling, which makes it evaporate, and they spit it out. They are twice as fast as the assemblers, but can only craft certain things. Right here we are turning electrum crystals into electrum sheets, which is then combined with chromed plates and rivets gives us reinforced null-filled plates, one of 4 ingredients of yellow science. We are going to have to start from the end. I need 6 size assemblers. So we need 12 blue circuits. The ratio between blue circuits and miniaturized gate arrays is 3 to 4, so we need 9 of them. Although blue circuits need an extra ingredient, this should be a good design start. Next up is the field effect nano mesh. It's a ratio 1 to 1, so we need 9 of them. The design is really simple, we just need to get sulfuric acid in. Bots are so overpowered. I just made a station supplying a blue belt worth of gravel in less than half a minute. Next up is graphene. If you're ever bored, look up the wiki on graphene. Graphene not only needs nitrogen, it also needs helium. The ratio is 2 to 1, but I will overbuild it as it's used in a lot of recipes. We are back at the beginning, needing 6 electrum sheets. There is still more. Nanoglass is needed for blue circuits. The ratio is 2 to 1, so we need 6 assemblers. Nanoglass itself needs graphene, so more graphene. Graphene needs its helium in the gas form, which we can get from the ambient heater. Now it's time to connect everything. Actually, we are not done yet. We are still missing 2 things. Gold plated wire and semiconducting triode. We make gold plating solution by combining water, sulfuric acid, and gold, of course. Semiconducting triode done, and that's it. Instead of venting the gas and constantly making it more like a monkey, we can be sophisticated and freeze the gases back into their liquid form. How many cryogenic plants do we need? I don't know. What's the point of this if we don't get tier 3 modules? The chrome box can be easily made here. We import the red circuits from the train I set up hours ago, if you even remember that. The heatsink is just copper, nothing special. Unlike you, the viewer. I'm pretty sure one of behemoth biters can take out the whole gold mine. They should do it. So we got the reinforced null full plates, we got blue circuits. The third ingredient is steel foam. It's a mix of majority steel and a bit of chromium. It gets smelted, the nitrogen gas is blown through the mixture, which causes little holes to form inside. Now we have all the ingredients. Remember like 18 hours ago I made batteries? Yeah, the batteries are the fourth ingredient. That's yellow science. In vanilla Factorio, yellow science is just seen as a stepping stone to launching a rocket without anything game changing. Whilst with ADR, it's filled with nuclear buildings, which actually upsets me, because I'll probably not use them as much as I have if they have been added earlier into the game. You will see later which building I'm talking about. Whoop, boop, boop. Now for the greatest invention ever, the requester chest. No more will I be haunted by automated machines which are more complicated than space science itself. It will take some manual labor though. So this is an issue. The train station fuel is also an issue. With almost 30 stations stuck here, it had to be fixed. But I'm too dumb to make this work, and even asked some people about it. I just got told to fuel them with their cluster chests, which is what I'm doing. Changing the route of 44 trains is a bit tedious. I'm designing a solar panel blueprint myself, because it's more fun than looking one up. Am I trying to match the ratio? No. A rocket turret? This is what it does. A laser turret? Not just laser turrets, arc turrets which stun biters. I actually love this turret as it's a support type rather than a damage one, which we lack in Factorio. When ore washing, you get two kinds of ore. Whenever one is full, the production of the other one stops. To put a bandage on this, I will build a buffer for all of them. What could this be for? I'm so addicted to gold. I need it. You know what? We need more steel and iron. 2 yellow belts of each is not cutting it. How much am I going to make? 4 blue belts each. That's just how I am. If I'm going to upgrade something, I will make sure I won't need to upgrade it again for at least 100 hours. How will we achieve such huge amount of production? We will with the help of a blast furnace. If you remember my lecture about the whole gold and iron thing, you know about blast furnaces. This blast furnace is actually accurate. It takes in cold and air. I wish they used this to make iron instead of normal furnaces, as the only incentive to use this is for speed. Namely, they are twice as fast as normal furnaces. I will crush the iron, which grants me 1 to 2 ingots in return. This will mean I will get 1.5 more iron, right? Wrong. It's actually 1.8 more times. Well, according to the rate calculator, I don't think it's wrong. 54 blast furnaces eat up a whole blue belt worth of crushed iron and spit out 1.8 blue belts worth of ingots. That's why I have to balance the outer 2 belts. Buffer full. You have already seen me build crushers, so my plan is to build 4 blast furnace arrays, which provide me with 7.2 blue belts worth of iron. But I will act as if I have 8. Why? I can't explain it, it's just like, it's more convenient. But I will go with the reason of being petty. Just to make sure my iron ore throughput is high enough, I built another station. Now we are ready. Okay, there's something wrong. The recipe is showing me a 1:1 ratio, and the rate calculator is showing me a ratio of 5:6. Okay, after a long investigation, the reason behind it is that the blast furnace has built-in production bonus. Also, I was intending to produce 2 full belt worth of steel with an array, but my dumbass thought that 36 times 2 is 64. So, am I the only one that just stops for a while before they paste the belt? Now to ship them off. 4 trains for iron, 4 trains for steel seems fair. Oh yeah, the process creates carbon monoxide which we can vent off. Honestly, if I just slapped a gas vent to each furnace, it would have been a better option than this pipe monstrosity. Look at the difference. Look at it. These were not connected. Oops. We put the electron crystals in the super magnets, which gives us the whole Kudu in return. They legit look the same, you can't convince me otherwise. We need this for the new buildings, most notably beacons, more buffers. It's time to expand to parts. Why? Well, there's a coal field, an iron field, and oil field, and a copper field. The funniest thing about Factorio is the fact that you can destroy trees with bullets. After securing the whole perimeter, it's time for the, how should I say it? The cleaning of the land. I hate how oil depletes almost instantly in contrast with oil. It's just too little in comparison. Solution? Beacons with prod modules. I should have done this from the beginning, but whatever. The reason we are lacking so many accumulators is because of how expensive they are. I had to build this solely for them. They are actually more expensive than yellow science. The reason for it is because accumulators received a huge buff. They store 12 times more power, which led me to having half a terajoules worth of charge towards the end of my playthrough. Another new turret, the photonic cannon. It charges up electricity, then shoots a ball of energy towards biters. The range is what I really like about it, although its damage destroys our own walls. Introducing the arc furnace. It melts down the ore to its liquid form. Why? Why? So that you can turn it into any intermediate product easily. The caster takes in the liquid and gives out its corresponding intermediate product. You can control which intermediate the caster makes by pressing Shift E. Honestly, it's pretty cool. Other than the fact it's pretty cool, there are zero reasons to use it. Instead of inserting the ingot straight into assemblers with belts, you have to smelt it down first. Sometimes you need some gas to smelt it down. Then you have to put it in the casters. It's the same speed. It does not yield more products, and it can't be beaten or used modules. So late game, which is the stage to unlock this, it's utterly dumb to use this instead of assemblers. The reason why I'm so mad about this is because I love the concept of it. The developers have clearly worked hard on it, with it being working and the visuals. It pains me that all of their hard work of theirs has gone to waste simply by balancing issues. A way to fix this is either to buff it with production and speed bonuses, or outright get rid of the assemblers and forcing the players to use this method at an earlier stage of the game. But that's just my opinion. This is the coolest building ever. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a teleporter. What's the range? Infinite. What's the power cost? Negligible. Is it hard to set up? Nope. How fast is it? 10 seconds. I need uranium, so another bridge, yes. This is my new wall design. It's overkill? Yeah, probably. It's secure now. Time to mine. Of course, I will be using the teleporter. So good. No sir, this is not overkill. We need to win the nuclear arms race. Our copper demand is rising, probably because of the accumulators. 6 blue belts should be enough. Remember that iron patch up north? I totally forgot about that one and decided to take over another one. Oh, and also, faster miners, loading the trains from both sides because of how fast we mine. Here are 4 blue belts worth of gold. Honestly, I just want to finish this video already, so my cuts will be aggressive now. Now we are ready to work towards the rocket. We turn platina into platina pellets, combine it with coal or natural gas and steam, and get hydrogen and carbon dioxide. We import the oxygen from the yellow science belt and barrel them up in a canister, and boom. We make gyroscopes, import blue chips, import gold plated wire, make rocket control units. So I spent a good half minute thinking about how I'll make this monstrosity. It's just so complicated. Well, with bots. Now to bring everything to the rocket. But before launching, we have to get a new research lab so that we can research space science. It's 4 times faster than the previous one, has an extra slot module, and is way cooler. This is it. The rocket silo has been built. The rocket is being built, slowly but surely, step by step. The rocket has been finished and is ready to launch. My job is done. I have made the world dirty and cruel. The water and air pollution is at its worst. Irreplaceable damage has been done to nature. Everyone is being spied on and lied to. Crimes and frauds are happening right in front of us and unable to do anything about it. Claims and PDF files getting softer sentences than candy dealers. People in power control us like puppeteers. The Industrial Revolution has been a success. It is time to go to another planet and revolutionize it. All of that just so that you, the viewer, can enjoy this video. Actually, we're not done yet. These new labs looks phenomenal. I just sat here for almost 2 minutes straight appreciating its beauty. It just looks so good, you know what I mean? I upgraded my green circuit production. Well, not just this. Pretty much everything I built is either speed model or beacon, or both. I haven't shown anything. Look at how ridiculous this recipe is. 360 whole sections and a nuclear reactor. I built another rocket for this. There is this new mechanic in this mod. If you launch a rocket with the thing I just showed you before, it will send in ores from outer space for free. The more you send, the more ore you receive, with a cap of 1000. The ores are delivered in cargo transmat. After launching a rocket with it, I should be getting ores now. I thought the badges came in for each transmat I had, but turns out it's in total, so 4 would have been enough. I apologize for the wait, it's been more than 6 weeks now. I'm very new to this, and as I've worked on this, I'm becoming more organized, efficient, and have a better mentality. So the next video shouldn't take as long. It did not help when my screen fell down and broke. My headphone cord got stuck in the wheels of my chairs and the headset was on my monitor. Even though I felt the resistance, I just thought it was the chairs themselves, as they have a built-in brake system so you don't move around when sitting. I got a new one that's the same model, about 140p, but my GPU almost exploded when I ran Apex, so I downgraded to 1080p again. I enjoyed making this video a lot and hope to make more. I will also try to step outside my comfort zone again and try to add in effects. My opinion on this mod, it's really good. I enjoyed every stage of it. Everything is new, original, flashed out. The graphics are really beautiful and the new mechanics are pretty good. It leans more into late game rather than early, so someone who enjoys late game would enjoy this mod a lot more than, early game players. I recommend it as your first or second overhaul mod. I would love any feedback from you guys, and if you want me to play any particular mod or game, let me know. Like and subscribe because I have to pay rent.